economic situation and where people come from. You have given us a shower of blessings to cool down the tension. Please make this meeting a success so that at the time we are going to go home, we'll be very pleased with the outcome of the meeting. We also pray that you endow the management and board with the knowledge to remember that the benefit of investment is dividend, so that at the end of the day, they work towards giving us dividend from our investment in this company. Father, I also pray that those that will consume our product will not be intoxicated to the extent that they cannot control themselves. A place that will give them joy anytime they are prepared to go to work. They feel very happy that they are going to work. And for our chairman, may he continue to be our father by remembering all our needs at any given time at the board meeting. Father, these and many other things we ask that may not come through our mouth this morning, but you know, because you are the Alpha Omega, you know the mind, you know the mindset and everything. May you continue to equip us to better glory. In Jesus' special name I pray. Amen. In the name of the Father, the Son, and the Holy Spirit. Amen.
Thank you very much, Chief Sonny. We'll now proceed with the meeting. Could I please request that we all be orderly, and there'll be opportunity for comments by shareholders, and any points of orders will be raised at that time. So I'll call on Mrs. Babalola of Apple Registrars to provide us with a report on the proxy forms received before we proceed. Mrs. Babalola, is she there?
Dear esteemed shareholders, dear Mr. Chairman, dear Board of Directors, I stand on existing protocol and I welcome us all to this meeting. Further to the approvals given to the proxies received, I confirm that we received a total proxies representing total units of 23,746,086,750 units, representing 88.40% of the issued shares. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you, Mr. Babalola. I'll now call on Mr. Gift Ejikeme of the Civic Center to brief us on the safety procedures for today's venue, the Civic Center.
Thank you, Royal Highness. Good morning, mommies and daddies. Good morning, mommies and daddies.
Good morning.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Gift Ejikeme. You're welcome to the Civic Center. You're in the banquet hall, second floor. Banquet hall, second floor. And in this hall, we have 3 exit points behind you. 1, 2, and 3. Then we'll have the other one before you, one over there. Please, when you hear the sound of the emergency alarm system, once the alarm goes off all over the hall, or I personally walk in here to ask you to leave the hall, please don't panic. Don't wait to ask questions or argue. Just walk, make use of the 4 exit points, the 3 behind you and this one. Walk fast. And for those who are wearing heels, women, we are wearing high heels. Please, that will make it difficult for you to walk fast. So you remove your high heels or any other shoe that will slow down your movement. And those who find it difficult to walk, the elderly ones, please, you can help them to walk out of the hall. When you go through the exit points, those doors, you will find the elevator, that's the lift, and the staircase. Please, don't use the lift. In any emergency situation, don't use the lift. Use the staircase. Because the lift might go off and you get trapped inside. So use the staircase. On the staircase, you see those iron rails. So those things are meant to maintain your balance. In case you're walking and you feel you might fall, you hold those rails to maintain your balance, please. Then when you get to the ground floor, turn left. That left will take you straight to the muster point, fire assembly point. That is where you can wait. That's the car park. There's a sign there that says fire assembly point. So you wait there. While you're there, do not come back into the building until I personally ask you to come back to the building. Please, mommies and daddies, please. As you're going, you also find my colleagues, fire marshals, safety officers. They will also direct you to the fire assembly point on what to do. Please, just follow their instruction. Do not argue. Don't wait to ask questions. Please. There are no toilets on the second floor. The toilets are on the first floor, that is down floor, and ground floor. Second floor, no toilets. First floor and ground floor. Please. If you mistakenly spill water or drink on the floor, please call any of the ushers immediately. So I will get it mopped up. That somebody will not fall. Please, those who are sitting by the roadside, please don't put your leg on the road. Don't stretch your legs out on the road because somebody will not fall. Please. If you're going out to ease yourself, please carry your phone or any of your important valuables along. Please. Thank you and enjoy your day.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much, Mr. Ejikeme. As you're all aware, due to the COVID-19 pandemic in recent years, this is the first AGM being held physically in a while. We are pleased to meet with all of you in person again. I confirm that the Register of Directors' shareholdings is available for inspection by members in compliance with the provisions of Section 301, subsection 8 of the Companies and Allied Matters Act 2020, comma 2020, and that this can be examined at the registrar's table. I'll now move on to introducing some of the people present for this event. Before moving to the formal aspect of the meeting, I would like to introduce the directors and the secretary. Unfortunately, Mr. Akintoye Omole is not here. He is non-executive director. And on my far right then is the finance director, Mr. David Tomlinson. And then our managing director, Mr. Carlos. Please, David stand up. David Tomlinson and the managing director, Mr. Carlos Coutinho. On my extreme left is Ms. Toyin Odulate, independent non-executive director. And next to her is Mr. Andrew Whitting, non-executive director. Also joining us virtually are Messrs. Michael Ajuku. Do we have their images on the screen? Unfortunately not. Michael Ajuku, Mr. Cherian Kurian, Richard Boris, Rivet Kanak, and Bruno Zambrano, all non-executive directors. Mr. Olubenga Awomolo was recently bereaved and sends his apologies. And for the former shareholders of the old international breweries, you'll recognize that the man, Chief Awomolo, who has just passed away, was a major shareholder and a major player in the development of this business. My name is Nemeka Achebe. I'm the Obi of Onitsha. I'm the chairman of the company by your grace. And on my left is Mr. Ayokunle Ayoko, who is our company secretary and general counsel. I want to also introduce the shareholders' representatives of the statutory audit committee. They are Mr. Oladepo Adeshino, the the chairman of the committee. Next to him is Ms. Oluwatoyin Iyola. Is she there? She's on her way? Okay. And then Mr. Moses Jaya Kunle, who is also a member. Also, we have the representatives of the Securities and Exchange Commission. Acknowledge all our shareholders and the staff of our company, our distributors, members of the press, and other stakeholders who are viewing this meeting via our website and YouTube, and who are unable to be physically present. I thank you all for your usual decorum at our meetings, and wish to appeal to any member who wishes to ask a question, make comments, move or second a motion, to please raise his or her hands and speak clearly to the microphone, stating his or her name, and then speak. And I'll call on members who wish to speak to be as brief and focused as possible, so that as many people as possible can get to the opportunity to speak and make their comments. May I call on the company secretary at this point and the general counsel to now read the notice convening this meeting. Company secretary, please.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Good morning, shareholders. I will now proceed to read the notice of today's meeting. Notice is hereby given that the 46th Annual General Meeting of International Breweries PLC will be held at the Civic Center, Ozumba Mbadiwe Road, opposite 1004, Victoria Island, Lagos State, on Wednesday, 21st June 2023 at 10 a.m., also soon thereafter, to transact the following business. 1. Ordinary business. To receive the audited financial statements for the year ended 31st December 2022, together with the reports of the directors, auditors, and audit committee thereon. Number 2, to elect the following directors. Number 1, 2.1, Mr. David Tomlinson. 2.2, Mr. Carlos Coutinho. 2.3, Mr. Cherian Kurian. 3, to re-elect the following directors by rotation. 3.1, Mr. Michael Ajuku. 3.2, Mr. Bruno Zambrano. 3.3, Ms. Olutoyin Odulate. 3.4, Mr. Andrew Whiting. Number 4, to authorize the directors to fix the remuneration of the external auditors. Number 5, to elect shareholder representatives to the statutory audit committee. Number 6, to disclose the remuneration of the managers of the company. Then special business. Number 7, to consider and if thought fit, transact the following special business as ordinary resolutions of the company. 7.1, to fix the remuneration of the directors. And 7.2, that in compliance with the rules of the Nigerian Exchange Limited, NGX, governing transactions with related parties or interested persons, the board and management be hereby granted a general mandate to procure goods, services, financing, and enter such incidental or recurrent transactions necessary for its day-to-day operations on normal commercial terms with a related party or interested person. This mandate shall commence on the date on which this resolution is passed and shall continue to operate until the day on which the next annual general meeting of the company is held. Dated this 26th day of April 2023 by order of the board, Ayokunle Ayoko, Company Secretary General Counsel. May I crave the indulgence of the shareholders through the chairman to take the notes attached as read. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, the Company Secretary. Dear shareholders, my statement is contained on page 23 of the... Are we agreed that you take it as read? We take it as read? Okay, thank you very much. We can make progress now. Thank you. I now call on the representatives of the company's external auditors, Mrs. PwC, to present their reports on the financial statements for the year ended December 2022, which has been included in the annual report and accounts. It's on page 82 of the annual report. PwC, please.
Thank you very much, sir. Good morning. My name is Udochi Mogilim from PricewaterhouseCoopers. With the kind permission of the shareholders, I would like to read the first, the second, and the last paragraphs of the report, having taken the report as read, through the chairman, sir. Shareholders.
Through the shareholder.
Thank you very much. Independent Auditor's Report to the members of International Breweries PLC. Report on the audit of the financial statements. Our opinion. In our opinion, International Breweries PLC, the company's financial statements, give a true and fair view of the financial position of the company as at 31 December 2022 and of its financial performance and the cash flows for the year then ended, in accordance with International Financial Reporting Standards and the requirements of the Companies and Allied Matters Act and the Financial Reporting Council of Nigeria Act. What we have audited. International Breweries PLC's financial statements comprise the statement of profit or loss for the year ended 31 December 2022, the statement of other comprehensive income for the year then ended, the statement of financial position as at 31 December 2022, the statement of changes in equity for the year then ended, the statement of cash flows for the year then ended, and the notes to the financial statement, which includes a summary of significant accounting policies. Basis for our opinion. We conducted our audit in accordance with International Standards on Auditing, ISAs. Our responsibilities under those standards are further described in the auditor's responsibility for the audit of the financial statement section of our report. We believe that the audit evidence we have obtained is sufficient and appropriate to provide us a basis for our opinion. Independence. We are independent of the company in accordance with the International Code of Ethics for Professional Accountants, including International Independence Standards, that is the IASBA code issued by the International Ethics Board for Accountants. We have fulfilled our other ethical responsibilities in accordance with the IASBA code. The last paragraph. Report on other legal and regulatory requirements. The Companies and Allied Matters Act requires that in carrying out our audit, we consider and report to you on the following matters. We confirm that, 1, we have obtained all the information and explanation which to the best of our knowledge and belief were necessary for the purposes of our audit. 2, the company has kept proper books of accounts so far as appears from our examination of those books, and returns adequate for our audit have been received from branches not visited by us. 3, the company's statement of financial position and statement of profit or loss and statement of comprehensive income are in agreement with the books of accounts and returned. This was signed by me, Udochi Mogilim, for PricewaterhouseCoopers Chartered Accountants, Lagos, Nigeria, on the 31st of March, 2023. Thank you very much, sir.
Thank you very much, Mrs. Mogilin. I now call on the chairman of the Statutory Audit Committee to present the report of the Audit Committee, which has been included on page 98 of the annual report and accounts. Mr. Adesina, please.
Good morning, the chairman, member of the board, the regulatory authorities present here, the auditors, the registrars, and the fellow shareholders. Good morning. My name is Oladipo Adesina. The Audit Committee report, page 98, as mentioned by the chairman. To the members of International Breweries PLC, in accordance with the provision of section 404, subsections 4 and 7 of the Companies and Allied Matters Act 2020, CAMA, we, the members of the Statutory Audit Committee of International Breweries PLC, having carried out our statutory functions on the Act, hereby report that 1. The scope and planning of both the external and internal audit programs for the year ended at 1st December 2022 were adequate in our opinion. 2. The accounting and reporting policy of the company confirmed the statutory legal requirements and agreed ethical practices. 3. The systems of internal control were constantly and effectively monitored. 4. Having reviewed the external auditor's findings and recommendations on management matters, we are satisfied with management's response thereon. Finally, we acknowledge the cooperation of management in the conduct of these duties. In the company secretary, which is also the general counsel, Mr. Ayokunle Ayoko, was the secretary to the committee. Signed by me and others, dated 31st March 2023. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Mr. Adesina. We've come now to the main business of the day. The first item on the agenda is to receive the audited financial statements of the company for the year ended 31st December 2022, and the reports of the directors, auditors, and the audit committee thereon. The reports and accounts have been circulated to all members in compliance with the statutory requirements. Under the provisions of CAMA 2020, I hereby lay before you, on behalf of the Board of Directors, the company's audited financial statements for the year ended December 2022, together with the accompanying reports. Your questions and comments on the reports are hereby welcome. But please note that all questions will be taken together and answers provided thereafter. We encourage you to be as brief as you can, so we can take comments from as many shareholders as possible. Before we take questions, I want to invite the Managing Director to speak briefly about some developments in the industry, particularly the excise duties payable to the government. The MD, please.
Good morning, Mr. Shareholders. Can I have your permission to read seated while I'm seated? Thank you very much. So, distinguished shareholders, we consider it very important to share with you the news of major developments in our sector, which will have direct impact on our business if it is implemented as is. On April 20th of 2023, the Federal Ministry of Finance, Budget and National Planning released a circular on the 2023 fiscal policy measures. The new fiscal policy measures made changes to the existing excise regime or roadmap, which was approved by the President about a year ago. What are the changes and the impact? With the new tax regime, previously we were paying 40 nairas per liter of excise. We are now required to pay 75 nairas per liter from June 2023. By next year, 2024, the excise will move from 75 to 100 nairas. In addition, there has also been the introduction of another layer of excise called ad valorem, which will require us to pay 20% of our cost of production plus some aspects of our gross profit. With the new changes, we are seeing over 250% increase in the excise to be paid by our company and other beer manufacturers. This is planned to take effect this month of June. Dear shareholders, as you can already imagine, if this is implemented the way it is, it will be a huge impact requiring your company to pay and close this gap. We also foresee that the beer sector may witness a reduction in volume as consumers' disposable incomes have reduced significantly. What have we done so far? We have had the support of the Manufacturers Association of Nigeria, MAN, supporting our organization and others in the industry to engage with the past government. Protest letters were written to the former Minister of Finance, the ex-president, and the Controller General of Nigeria Customs Service. We are also having engagements with the new government requesting for a change in this policy, which, if not looked into, can have severe consequences in the industry. Key requests from government. We call on our president to please look into this potential problem in the beer sector. We request for the new policy to be reversed to the old 2022 to 2024 roadmap, which already has been reasonably increased in excise compared to this excessive increase. We request government to please remove the ad valorem from beer excise as it amounts to double taxation. It is subjective system and its tax administration is not clear. We are also asking government to please give us the 3 to 6 months moratorium as contained in the tax law for companies to plan and adjust to new fiscal measures. Conclusion. Dear shareholders, we are continuing with our advocacy until there is a clear response from the government on our industry requests. Thank you very much.
Thank you, MD. It's now time for questions. We have to be back. Okay, let me start with Chief Lumebon. Microphone.
My respected chairman, my grandmaster, good morning, sir. My respected board members, I am happy to be here this morning. My names are Sir Olatunde Okelana, MSc JP, a Knight of St. Bernard Commandery, number 35, Chicago, Illinois, USA, a Justice of Peace. I'm a security consultant. My chairman, I want to mention something today. Number one, let me start with congratulating you for appointing Carlos as our MD. He has been a very wonderful man since he assumed the office. Can you give him a very round of applause? Having said that, a good combination of Ayokunle, Ayoko. All of you will remember vividly, Ayojimi left this company, and another Ayokunle came. Ayo na ni gbogbo ẹ. Ayo wa fún gbogbo wa o. But I want to say on a good note, my respected MD, empower him very well. Nigerian shareholders know the way. It's the bridge between the shareholders, the management, and the board. Empower him. They approve everything that Nigerian shareholders deserve as privileges. Let him get it. My chairman, I want to say something about your corporate assistance. We've been following you for years, even when there is no dividends. The Nigerian shareholders are very loyal to you. And I want you to know that our loyalty is to the organization, not to individual. But my chairman, there is something you need to do for us. We are talking of facility tour of our investment. Please, it's overdue. Facility tour is overdue. This is the third quarter. We are entering third quarter from the end of this month. We want to know the status of our investment throughout Nigeria. Then, another thing, my chairman, during the festive period, it's difficult to get our bearing. Do you know why? Most of these products are not available. What is our challenges? Have we reduced our production? What can we do? Then, another thing, my chairman, Carlos, I want you to take note of this very, very well. There are things you use for marketing those days. Even back at 1997, that's your beautiful cups. That's your server tray. They are very important. This one improve your marketing. Your marketing strategy will assist this company very well. Then another thing that is no longer in use is those keke marwa that they normally use to distribute these drinks in Ogbomoso. I want to tell you, I came from the largest state in Southwest, Oyo State precisely, Peseta. Having been a chief since 1997, July, I've been able to change the taste of all my people to get their bearing reasonably. I make sure they drink responsibly. But these products, we need them more. What is their challenges? Is it marketing or production? You need to improve on your marketing. There used to be some marketing strategy you used those days by having a small promo that normally, bring people together to get their bearing. Look at these things, how you can do this marketing. Then another thing you should look into is your distributing network. I told you I get my bearing very well. I don't know what is happening with cashless economy in Nigeria. Please, I want you to take note of this. We have an anniversary of one of my club in Ogbomoso on Saturday, and I want everybody to take international brewery products. I went to the marketer to buy this. He said, this is the total of the money, but you will add 100 naira because it's cash. It's because we are using ATM card to pay through their POS. Is it a policy from the company, or is it the distributor that is embarrassing your customers? Please, is it difficult for Nigeria to embrace a cashless economy? What is our challenge? Please, I want you to look into that. Before I sit down, I want to congratulate all our staff. Please give them a very good round of applause. Especially the company secretariats. The people you met in office, Ayokunle, they are wonderful people. They are the shock absorber that you need to use to make sure you understand us very well. It might take you 2 years to understand us, but they are the most wonderful shareholder you can see in this part of the world. So I want to congratulate all the staff of International Brewery. Please continue your loyal support. Carlos, all of us will support you. We will support you. The chairman is here, is our father. We will always support you. And I pray that God will give you the strength to steer the affair of the management good. And the chairman, God will give you long life, good health, to make sure this company grow from strength to strength. Don't forget your children, the shareholders. We are missing you. We only see you once in a year. Improve on our relationship. Thank you. God bless you, my grandmaster. I wish you well, sir.
Chief Boniface, okay, sir. Bisi Bakari, I'm coming. Bomba.
His Royal Majesty, Obio Fornisha Abogidi, directors of our company, distinguished fellow shareholder, good morning. My name is Okezia Boniface, the National Chairman, Progressive Shareholders of Nigeria. Mr. Chairman, unfortunately this morning, the shareholder comes in, year out, no dividend to be shared. Hugo stayed here throughout his tenure. He didn't offer us dividend. And I hope, Carlos Coutinho, you are coming on board. Will you guarantee us dividend before your tenure expired? That's very, very important. We don't want to come and hear and see your faces and speak. People struggle to enter the hall. There's nothing to distribute. That is not good for us. The essence of investments is to get dividend, no matter how small it is. We invested in this company. You went to Shagam. You borrowed, shareholder supported. You built a world-class factory there. Over how many years now? We are expecting that dividends shall start rolling from that edifice to shareholders. You came for right issue. We supported. And up to now, we have not seen the benefit of those investments, our support. Mr. Chairman, I think it's the high time. You had one of the finest product in the country. Why shouldn't you earn dividend? One of the competitors have been paying consistently, year in, year out. And it just almost a size like you. You have one of the best product, and I hope was also exporting to earn foreign exchange. Because International Brewery, the product is, like the first speaker spoke, it is not really available in festivities. I know last year, December, thereabout, I bought a drink over $500,000. I had a ceremony I did, and I had burial. Over the 2 years now, I've been buying here. And they have to go from one state to other to collect the product and delivered. That means the product is acceptable for the populace. And people are consuming it. The malt, the beer, what have you. Budweiser, what is the finest king on the brewery? People are consuming Hero, Trophy. Why are we not paying dividend, Mr. Chairman? These are things I'm talking about. Because the price are still remaining at 4 or 5 naira. Because no payment of dividend is affecting our equity. Most other breweries, their prices are going up. There's one in the south today. It's almost at par with you. And you are bigger than those ones. These are smaller breweries. Mr. Chairman, I'm not happy this morning to be here because I am believing and trusting. Because the loss have become too much for this company. When are we returning to profitability? That's my question this morning. Mr. Carlos, you must give us a time frame. Not 2 years, not 3 years. And we have said over last year, during the COVID, that you can use the share premium to restructure our balance sheet, to give you room to pay dividend. And we're not looking at that direction. We need to clean up. We are sending our money to our parents' company overseas. We are paying. We are paying to the banks 10 billion, servicing interest. And the only shareholder had not been serviced. What is our crime? And most of us are the consumers of this product. What is our crime? Mr. Chairman, this needs to be addressed. Because how many years now? We come, there's a firm promise, by next year we are going to return to profitability. Instead of returning, we go into diving into loss. And that loss are magnitude, billions. We're not talking about millions. Mr. Chairman, if you look at page 8, on the agenda of this meeting, you can see all resolutions. It's to approve elect directors, re-elect directors, confirm. There's nothing talking here about shareholder. So I believe, Mr. Chairman, as a father, we are your children. And if we are this period of uncertainty, economic headwinds, people are paying almost 1,000 now to come here, from CMS to reach here to attend the meeting. And they are going home, they pay from their pocket. What are they going to drive? What's their joy coming here this morning? They hold the field to support the company. And in return, they will not say anything. Mr. Chairman, I think this is our time. The board and management must look into this direction. That dividend is at stake. We need it more than ever before because it's biting hard. We are seeing government overtaxation, government. And we are being taxed as well. And the market is the market we purchase. Today, excess duty. Because we had a government in the past that led the administration, they don't know their left and right. The Minister of Finance was the worst of ministers we had in this country. And that's why they're interested in tax. Collecting, they're not doing anything. The roads are dilapidated, hospitals not in existence. These masses are suffering. The AK living, it is impossible for them to even exist. The government want to tax, even tax how you urinate. They will tax it. That's what we are seeing. But I believe this current administration now, the president already alluded that this double taxation must tackle it and exist. Because that's the only way we can encourage investors to come in. Remove this double taxation. It's affecting industries. When you increase the beer product, people will not buy it. Then the loss will continue. Maybe at the end of the day, you close the factory and send the workers going home. Government cannot absorb them. Government cannot create employment. It's only the private sector. And that is why man must work hard. Make sure that this obnoxious policy is punched. The government of the day, they are businessmen. I know President Bola Tinubu will look into this. Because we cannot continue. Government is one to create job and the factory. So, Mr. Chairman, having said that, I also commend the company. Despite these hiccups, there's almost 15 awards given to the company. That's clear that you are doing very well. On page 22, I want to applaud that. Even if we are not paying dividend, there's other way you are doing in society. I want to commend you for that. Mr. Chairman, if you look at page 139 of this annual report, page 139, I want to call our auditors to please, we are not taking anything as shareholder, page 139, audit fees. Mr. Chairman, from 97 million to 113 million is totally unacceptable. When shareholders are not taking anything home, then we pay professional, we pay for the banks, interest, etc., etc. So I think auditors, you must be mindful that this company is not taking care of its shareholders, and you're increasing every audit fees. Mr. Chairman, we have to look into that. It is become alarming. We need to look into that, Mr. Chairman. Mr. Chairman, I want to also say on page 103, here, page 103. Mr. Chairman, don't rush us because we are not happy this morning. And if you are rushing us to make comment and drop the microphone, we can move forward. Take every opinion, every comment. They are useful. It will help you. Mr. Chairman, page 103, finance cost, 10 billion. We are paying for the bank, 10.6. Mr. Chairman, this is too high. This is too high, Mr. Chairman. If you go to administrative expenses, Mr. Chairman, 31 billion as against 35, which is also coming down, but then we need to watch the cost. Marketing, promotion, and distribution expenses, 19 billion as against 17. Mr. Chairman, you look at revenue, 218 billion as against 182, which should have given hope for this dividend I'm talking about, but the case was reversed. Cost of sales, 175 as against 135 billion, Mr. Chairman. This is on the high side. We need to watch our cost. And we have a brewery in Onisha, we have in Ilesha, we have in Shagamo, we have in Port Harcourt. Why are we having those so much high expenses in distribution and cost our product? That's what account all these things. These breweries scattered all over the places should also reduce expenses of goods movement from one state to another. These are things we need to look into. If we're able to reduce this cost, there'll be room for paying dividend. It's not that company is not making sales, heavy turnover, but it must translate in profitability, not giving us loss. So we need to watch our cost. We need to watch those things that are able to remove dividend from our table and remove them, reduce it. This company is a better company. In its own product, they're a better company. And shareholders are patronizing you. Mr. Chairman, come next year, give us assurance that a eluded dividend will start coming on our ways. Then that's the only way we can continue to patronize you. Otherwise, we'll boycott the product. But I believe we're not going to boycott the product. It's our company. Carlos, before you leave this tenure, because they don't give you long time to stabilize. 2 years, 3 years, they send you away. That is not good for the company. It is not good. So let the managing director be aware of where environment is coming so that he can work hard to deliver. Not 2 years, they send you away. Somebody will come again. It's not helping the company. We must look at that direction, Mr. Chairman, to tell the foreign partner they are not doing us well. That's my message this morning.
Thank you very much. Thank you. Thank you very much. Thank you. We'll come to the middle. Mr. Awo, Mr. Nana Awo, we're coming. We're going there. We'll come there. Nana Awo.
The chairman, very distinguished fellow shareholders, other directors here present. Mr. Chairman, I think that would not be fair to the company if we don't apologize to this company for the manner in which the minority shareholders conducted themselves before the beginning of this meeting. I say this with all due respect. If we expect high standards for our company, that also puts a responsibility on us to also try and show standard. So, Chairman, please accept our apology. But having said that, I will also be asking that going forward, the company should take a lesson from today's event and design other ways of we having to run our AGM. Because I know that if you were to have one of your shows, which is one major area that we have strength in promoting our product, that you probably will have a crowd bigger than this, but the organization will have been better than what we saw today. So we'll be putting that responsibility back to you. Help us to organize our AGM in a manner that will be befitting of investors. Having said that, Mr. Chairman, I want to say that one major advantage that you also have as a company, looking at page 7, we have 6 directors from 6 different countries. And I've badged the Nigerian director as one. Because, Igwe, I know you are not from Sudan, so I didn't add you as a... Otherwise, if I added one of the directors to be not from Nigeria, the number would have been bigger. But interestingly, these 6 classes of directors are also from 5 different continents, which means that one of the major... Mr. Chairman, I can't understand why we only have one independent director when the law says that we should have minimum of 3. But much more importantly for me as a minority, there's nobody that is representing us on this board. And I don't think that would be a fair thing to do. Because if you again look at the way the board is structured, we have a situation where our foreign partners hold the office of the MD and hold the office of the finance director. So if they are that concerned as to their investment, and they don't think that they should be concerned about the minority, then there's also a misjudge as to what we're doing. So one of the things I'll be recommending, with due respect, and I'm sure with the support of the other shareholders, we must have a representative as minority on this board. We will send you nominations and we'll leave you to pick, but we must be represented on this board. Having said that, Mr. Chairman, and having also listened to the updates that the MD gave, I don't think your presentation is complete. Because what you have done is basically throwing up numbers. But if that number does not end as to what the likely cost of beer and malt will become for you, then you have not passed any message. You have not communicated. So I'll be asking you, with all of this, because I'm sure you'll have done scenarios. Oh, if they do this, this is what we amount to. If they do this, this is what we amount to. So from the scenario playing that you have done, how much will a bottle of beer, minimum, what will you be looking at? Because it's only on that strength that people can sympathize with you and help you in the push for a better position going forward. The advocacy should not be limited to you and man. But unfortunately, I can also confirm to you that a number of you, talking about CEOs, don't think that they should carry placard. Who says you shouldn't carry placard? Because you have an option. If you do nothing, you get killed. Okay? When I'm talking about being killed, the business gets killed. Yes, you probably will go to Guatemala, but you also be on record that you left because you're unable to fight. So you need to fight. Get other companies in your group to join you, and you must begin to fight. Because if you don't fight, then there's a challenge. If you need to get T-shirts, 6, 7, 8 of you, go to National Assembly, carry placards. You spend so much on advert, which I'm in agreement with. Because if you sell a product and people don't know the product you sell, there's a challenge. But you also need to begin to sell the survival of this company. So that's another challenge I'm going to put to you. But having said all of that, Mr. Chairman, I want to find out what happened in 2022, because if you look at page 139, in 2021 we had exports. You may say it's small, but that is to be missing in 2022. And you know I'm interested in exports. Exports will give you at least some small foreign currency that can also help to take the pain. Even if you needed to take 12 tablets of Panadol, if you got a few amount from Forex, then your Panadol can be reduced at least by 1, and which means the ability of your body to absorb the pain reliever will also be better. So what is it that we didn't do right in 2022 in terms of exports? That for me will be important. I'm happy somebody talked about finance costs. But much more important, looking at page 141 and 142, the other losses is also something I think you need to talk around. What is it that is possible that you can do as a way of managing that other losses? Again, talking about financial reconstruction, I think it's something that you need to again look at, but I'll be interested as to what you can do. And you know why that is important for me? One of the speakers did say you must tell them that you are going to pay dividend next year. I can confirm from this account that you are not likely to pay dividend in the next 3 years. I can confirm from this account, except a miracle happens. But that miracle again will not happen given the strength of what you have here. So it's important that you speak around those issues so we don't come here next year and then we begin to call you Judas, even when you have not sold Jesus Christ. But it's important that you tell us in that line. The other area that I'm also interested in, on page 165, in 2021, 5 directors waived their director's fee. In 2022, only 1. What has changed in terms of policy? Because my understanding of you waiving director's fee would largely stem from the foreign representation of the foreign partners. So what has changed? Because the number hasn't reduced, but yet when I'm talking about number not having reduced, I'm talking about the number of representation from the foreign partner. That for me, I think is something that you also need to speak at. I will also be requesting, Igwe, I realized from the presentation of the chairman's statement that it's now being renamed the company statement. Your signature and the signature of the MD came along. I don't know how it came, but if you look at the stories that is told between the two of you, what you're going to find is that revenue went up. But I don't think that itself is the total story. Because if I understand the impact of price increase relative to the revenue, I then begin to also, going back to the issue of excise duty, I begin to understand your challenges more. So, what is the size or what is the contribution of increase in price for our product in the size of the revenue that we have also seen? But let me close very quickly on the note of unclaimed dividend. 164 million. Yes, it may be small, but my worry is that between last year or the year before, that 2021 and 2022, there was no improvement in that figure. So there must be something wrong. Not even one person came forward to say, I want to claim my dividend. That is outstanding. So I'll be asking, now that we also have a new company secretary, it will be extremely important that your relationship with the registrar needs to be better. Why? Because the registrar itself is an extension of your office as a company secretary. So one of the things I will be assessing you on for 2023, in 2023, God granting us, in 2024, God granting us life, is what is the size of the unclaimed dividend that has dropped. If he fails to drop, then it means that something is also fundamentally wrong. Because if you are not getting dividend, it's also important that investors who are here, who have invested and also have earned dividend, and they were paid dividend, and those dividends were not collected, it means that there's also something wrong. So I'll be hoping to see what you do for the year to come. Mr. Chairman, I will also want to use this opportunity to thank management and staff who are present here. The shoebox, the way I've read it, is something that you need to be commended around and about. For somebody to earn salary and say, okay, part of my salary I give to charity, in whatever form, needs to be commended. However, thank you. However, there's something missing in the presentation. Yes, you've shown some items in picture. But if you then put that contribution in the context of amount that they contributed, that itself will tell a better story as to what these young men and women are doing for us via the less privileged. So going forward, I think it's something that you need to also look at. And where man-hour is also involved, because you don't do all of this without committing time, we should also put that man-hour spent, because we know their salaries, convert it into cash, and then put cash contribution, which is the money they have brought, and non-cash contribution, which is the time they have spent. That, I think, is a better way to present what you have than just showing us pictures and telling the story in oral. But, Mr. Chairman, I will be closing on the note of a major assignment that you must help us do. If the minority shareholders are not making money, it's important that our foreign partners must not be seen as making money the way it's being presented in this annual account. Technical agreement. Please, Chairman, don't give me the explanation that it was done by a NOTAP. Don't give me that explanation. The explanation that I want you to give us is that you are going to go back as a board and ask that our foreign partners drop the size of technical agreement that they collect currently. Because if you sit down here and they collect billions in terms of technical agreement, why will they be interested that we don't have dividend? They would certainly would not be interested. Even the directors who are shareholders, because that could be the escape route for Igwe. Even if you don't earn dividend as directors because you have shares, you sit on the board, you take director's fee, you take sitting allowance. What do we take? No. What you are doing is that you are making us subsidize your operation. And I don't think that is the fair way to go. I want to thank you for the opportunity to speak, Chairman.
The gentleman, the gentleman over there.
Good afternoon, Mr. Chairman.
Please, let us be as focused and brief as possible so that more people can speak.
Mr. Chairman, good afternoon, sir.
Good afternoon.
Members of the board and all regulatory agencies here. Fellow shareholders, I say good afternoon. My name is Kazim Olaiwola. Mr. Chairman, well, good morning. Whatever you say is welcome, sir. I stand on the existing protocol and I will be expressing my expression. I'll be expressing my opinion on a very brief note. Mr. Chairman, I said my name is Kazim Olaiwola. I come from Kaduna State, and I'm here for the past 10 years. I've not been attending this meeting, but now that I've come, my disappointment will be what I will express first. Where the apology has been presented on behalf of the shareholders, but nevertheless, Mr. Chairman, the registrars, they are not living up to expectation. To be candid, I have to express my personal opinion. They are not living up to expectation. Please go back to the drawing board and address the issue. That's point number one. Number two, Mr. Chairman, on the deliverance of annual reports and accounts, I must express at this juncture that it's not delivered. Most of us get this annual report here, and it is not welcome at all. The management and the board of the company should please work on it. For somebody getting an annual report on a meeting day is not, is not quite understandable. Please, I urge you to please find something done on this. On the issue of corporate social responsibility, Mr. Chairman, let me commend the management for doing a very good job on this. But however, on the issue of the educational scholarship to some deserving people within the country must be looked into. Sentiment must be ignored when you are giving out scholarship, to people. So our expected target shall be met. I'm saying this because I'm in the industry, so that we should not put sentiment on the issue of our scholarship. Give scholarships to those who merit the scholarship, and again, keep a monitoring outlook on the deserving people, so that at the end of the day, the targeted result will be achieved. On the issue of the publication too, it seems to me I met your publication, International Breweries Elisha, on one national daily, because I'm close to my place of work library, and I read papers virtually every day. So I want to know, why do we need to do this? We need to publicize to the whole world. Despite the fact that we are losing sight, it's not the end of the game. We should be able to perfect our record moderately. On a final note, Mr. Chairman, I want to welcome Mr. Carlos and the company secretary, but welcoming them is just a point of note and warning. I must confess to you, most of us are not happy with this present situation, but the passion and the love and the synergy we are having to the company will never deter our contribution. So please work hard and ensure that you put smile on the faces of all the investors. On a final note, Mr. Chairman, I want to appreciate the management, at least for the confidence reposed on the present audit committee. And I pray the company will not lack. Those who are contributing their resources to will not lack, including the audit committee member. On this note, I want to take a bow and say a very good thank you for the opportunity given to me.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much for being very brief. Mrs. Bakare. We're coming to the middle. Mrs. Bakare. We have to let a lady speak, or more ladies to speak.
Thank you, sir. His Royal Majesty, Board of Directors, regulatory authorities here present this morning, eminent shareholders, good morning. My name is Mrs. B.C. Bakari. I'm the National Coordinator of Pragmatic Shareholders Association of Nigeria. Mr. Chairman, before I start my comments, I want to say something. That is on the issue of the registrar and the office of the company secretary. I want to put it on record this morning. For me and some of my members, we received the soft copy of International Annual Report on the 6th of June this month. That is almost over 21 days. It's inside my phone. So I want to put it on the record so that everybody will hear this, that we received the soft copy annual report over 21 days. Well, why I cannot say everybody, I'm only aware of my members. I receive it and my members. So having said that, Mr. Chairman, I want to also use this opportunity to commend the office of the company secretary for the good job they have done. And again, for using this annual report to advertising our products. Free money is better going to newspaper where this annual report will even go. Newspaper will not get there. So I want to commend them for using the annual report to advertise our products. Thirdly, Mr. Chairman, I want to also put it on record. For me, it is true we are not getting dividend at international breweries. Of course, for all investors, we need returns on our investment. But despite that, I want to commend this board, Mr. Chairman, that every year you hold your AGM. You are not missing even single 1 year. Every year you come to face your shareholders. This is the situation of things. This is the way our account is. So I want to commend you for that. We have a company now. For the past 15 years, they didn't hold their AGM. But they are coming now. They want to do virtual meeting. On that, I want to talk to our regulators. I don't know if our regulators are really regulating us or they are killing our investment. How could a company that did not hold AGM for the past 15 years and you approve for them to go on virtual meeting? This is very wrong. I think we shareholders, we should stand up for our responsibility. How can company refuse to hold AGM for the past 15 years? This year they want to hold AGM, they are going virtual. We are not going to support that. And it's like our regulators are just wasting our investments. They've collected their own money. They don't remember the minority shareholders. This is very wrong. Much has been said by the earlier speakers, and I don't want to repeat any shareholders. But Mr. Chairman, on page 22, you told us that we have our products in 23 states. I think there is need for international breweries product to penetrate more in additional states. Secondly, If I'm still on the same page, we have 17.6% of women representation in international breweries. His Royal Majesty, this is gender imbalance, sir. I want the board to look at this, at least to increase this to 25%, if we cannot get to 33%. Again, I'm somehow confused, still on the same page of 22. You told us that you cover 23 states and 28 states with operation. I don't understand. What do you mean by that? Which one is 28 states and which one is 23 states? I think I need more light on this. Page 80, attendance of meetings of audit committee members. I'm somehow confused here. The audit committee met only 3 times during the year under review. Are you telling me that you take your report to regulators without your audit committee meeting? I think for each quarter, your audit committee is supposed to approve the account before taking it to the regulators. So, going forward, Mr. Chairman, I want the management to look at this. The audit committee should meet quarterly, not 3 times in a year. Lastly, I want to ask, that what is your 2023 outlook in terms of returning international breweries back to profitability, commitment to invest in brands, facilities and digital transformation, which will allow our company to connect more closely with your customers. Once again, thank you very much for the opportunity given to me.
We'll go to the Baba at the back. The Baba at the back over there. The Baba at the back. White dress. White dress.
Onye nwe anyị akele m gị Chineke ga-eme ka ị na-adị.
Daalụ.
Achọrọ m ikwu okwu mbụ ihe
please speak in English because English, please.
My name is Chief Shotunde Shokweju, one of the old students of City College.
Please. Quiet. Audience, please.
Depending on what the last speaker said.
Your name first.
I say my name is Chief Shotunde Shokweju, Chairman, Beacon Shareholders Association. All other protocols observed. The earlier speakers have spoken most of my mind. But what I want to emphasize upon is that the regulatory authorities are not doing it well. They are not doing it well at all. If they should go downstairs now, you will find 9 lorry loads of touts coming to violate what we are doing in this room. They brought, and that is Mr. Adeshino from Ibadan. He brought 9 lorry loads of vehicles to come and budge the audit committee. What is in audit committee? SEC should be able to tell us. And how many proxies have you got at this moment that 9 lorry loads, they are downstairs. The SEC people has not made shareholding very interesting because they have not been able to control effectively shareholding processes. If they, as a government civil servant in those days, for 35 years, we regulate, we administer, and we put into order things that are in our care. SEC has not been able to. NGS has not been able to. And they should be able now. We want to correct them. They need correction.
Okay.
And it is from here.
Okay.
One of them should go downstairs and see the commotion that is down. Before I came up,
Noted.
I was almost suffocated.
Noted. Noted.
No, you are noting, but I am laying emphasis on SEC and NGX. They are not correcting the issues, and they should be able to make good everything. That's and make worrying us.
Thank you.
They don't make investment interesting to us.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir.
Chief Sonny Nwosu, you can sit down, please. I hope so.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Well, I need not to introduce myself because I can take that for granted that the company secretary will write the correct name for me. The only addition is JP.
I've introduced you.
Yes, sir.
And I added JP also.
No. I said I need not to do long introduction, that the company secretary can be taken for granted, that he will write my full name.
Yes, thank you.
The only addition is JP to that. Well, thank you, Mr. Chairman. I have a clear sympathy for the incoming managing director because of what he read out to us. Pose a lot of challenges to the operation of the company. Number one, increased expenses means that we will record a reduced profit for the year. My concern is that is man actually acting? That's my concern because all these things need discussion, talking with government. And we may not achieve anything that will be very handsome between the past regime and the present regime because it's the same thing. So we have to find a way to ensure that we increase our turnover in order to increase profit, to be able to manage all the incoming expenses or the future expenses that the managing director has actually enumerated to us. Hello? Mr. Chairman, a few years ago, international breweries created a scene in the environment by forcing most of the brewery companies in this country to reduce their prices. And I don't know why today that we are not benefiting from that very serious action that we have taken in those days. So we need to work harder. And we also, I don't know, there's something I saw on page 39 of this annual report, which has to do with restricted revenue. We are not bank. Why did we have that? I think it's page. Page 105 speaks for itself, everything about the finances. Restricted cash, 7 billion naira. Why is our cash restricted? Is it against any exposure or what? Why is it restricted? It's very important that we should know this. So if you look at that page 105, you will see everything very clearly. And I also want to advise the company secretary, who is a known man in this business, that when you talk of annual report, it must be annual report. When you are talking of online, this thing, it doesn't count for shareholders. Look at the number of shareholders we are having here. How many of them have you bought iPad for? If you want them to restrict their reading to iPad, definitely online, you must buy them iPad. So if not, I do not believe that there's electronic annual report sent to shareholders. I do not believe it. So you must ensure it's part of the expenses of running a PLC. Ensure that there's an annual, whether it is a glossy or a paper form, print it and send to them. Nobody will complain. But when you start saying that you sent electronic annual report on the 16th of, it doesn't get the phone. So you are an experienced company secretary, you've come a long way, we've been working together. And therefore you must know what to do to ensure that your shareholder gets information about the company. Without information, you cannot enjoy the AGM because you will not get enough information to ask questions at the AGM. Mr. Chairman, from what the MD has said, it means we need more money to cushion the effect of all these additional taxes. Now, presently, we are borrowing. Do we have any intention to raise equity among the shareholders to look for cheap money? Otherwise, the more we borrow, the more the expenses will be going high, and administrative expenses will continue to run high. And we cannot afford to default at all. So we have to sit down and think properly. Even if you do financial engineering with what you have as reserve, what about the next year? It will still be there. It will not have a serious effect or a long-term effect on the finances. So we need to sit down and look for a way to find a cheaper funding of the operation. So, or we have seen the advert on Trophy. It's very catchy. If we need to do more to make more sales, to be able to have a bottom line, to face the challenges of the new regulation, we need to do something about that. Without that, it will be difficult for us to pay dividend next year. That is very obvious. So, but I'm very worried about the workforce, because each worker there extends benevolent to about 10 family members. And once they're affected, it's more disastrous than. So my contribution is as few as that we must do something. Think properly how we are going to get out of the problem of increased taxation. Well, let me quickly refer the chairman to pages 166, 167, and I've taken that of 105. There, 166, 167. Already on that page, we have a negative retained earning. That is an issue that calls for concern, serious concern. And MD, I don't know how you are going to overcome this problem. Mr. Chairman, just excuse me, I have so slow speaking this time.
I know. We're taking your time.
Let's go to finance cost on 167. You will see, Mr. Chairman, the bottom line, the summary is that we have serious financial problems, that we need to sit down and see how we are going to get out of this. With both the finance director, MD, procurement manager, to see how, despite all this, we were able to pay our technical partners about 7 billion naira. So it's that on its own called for confidence that they'll be prepared to do more business with us. We find a way where we will get forgiveness and be able to have enough money to run the business, Mr. Chairman. So those are my observations.
Thank you.
And I believe that you will look at it, because the most important thing for shareholders, you have had it all. When we invest, we want to have a return on our investment. So we have one of your competitors pays 3 times of dividend, interim, final, and all this and that. That is the way we want international breweries to be. So please, thank you very much, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you, Chief Mosu. Shall we make progress? Progress?
Yes.
Okay, let's make progress then. Okay, thank you very much. I want to thank all the speakers and contributors for their suggestions, which, if you take note, we've been taking notes. Order, please. Order, please. We've taken notes of all the comments that have been made, and we'll respond to a few of them, but the rest of them we'll take on board. First of all, for what has happened or what has transpired outside today, Nona, thank you very much for raising it. On our side, as the board and management, I think we should apologize also to the shareholders that it happened. We have nothing to do with it. And I'm very pleased that when we walked in here, the hall was full and very orderly. And I have to congratulate all our shareholders for that. Thank you very much. Briefly also, the question of independent directors and the gender balance in management and the board and so on. I would like to say that that is work in progress. We know that we need at least 3 independent directors. We need more diversity on the board. We had a good diversity on the board, but we lost two female members in quick succession. We're working to fill those positions appropriately and so on. Well, on the survival of the company, the excise duties and so on, the MD gave you a detailed report on the challenges we face and the efforts we make. Let me say also that besides wearing T-shirts and going to the National Assembly, we also apply soft power. I had myself, on behalf of the company and the Manufacturer Association, I had direct discussions with the Vice President, outgone, and the Minister for Industries and Investment, outgone. And both of them were sympathetic, but then the Ministry of Finance was not. So there was a gap in the policy approach on that issue, which we hope that the present administration will close that gap and see the need for energizing the business by reducing the excise duty. I think the managing director said what he wanted to say before, and I'll call on the finance director to make a few comments on the key issues raised on the finance side. Not on all the points made, but on the key issues made. So David, up to you, please.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Please, please, let's have order. The people at the door, if they're going out, they should go out, but nobody should come in, please. Where are the organizers, the security? Please sit down, everybody. Okay, David.
Excellent. Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Before I begin, I want to thank everyone.
Please allow him to sit down so he can speak to the microphone. Allowed? Allowed? Thank you very much. David, sit down. Go ahead.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. And before I begin, I want to thank everyone who's traveled here today. I'm very grateful for that. And myself, as someone who's new to Nigeria, I'm very grateful to be here and grateful for Nigerians welcoming me into their country. So thank you so much. Now, a lot of our comments center around the profitability of our country, as we are all focused on the company's ability to pay a dividend. Now, while the company is, in fact, in a loss position, and that loss position has grown year over year, I think it's important to separate our business into 2 components. The first is that our earnings before interest and taxes and depreciation and amortization has grown every single year since 2018. So when we consider the commercial operations of the business, the commercial operations of the business are growing and they are successful, and we should see that reflected in our results within the marketplace. The underlying demand dynamics of the beer industry in Nigeria are compelling, and that should be reflected in our EBITDA results. Now, why are we in a loss position? Because we are in the unfortunate scenario that we have Forex-related obligations that we are historically unable to pay down. Additionally, given the way that we've structured our supply chain, we have new Forex obligations coming on every single year. One very important change that we are making within our business is that in the very near future, we will have no new Forex obligations as a part of our operating structure. This will enable us to use whatever proceeds that we do have within the business to be able to pay down our Forex obligations, as opposed to the previous situation, which is whatever proceeds that we do have available to pay down our Forex obligations, they're only offset by new Forex obligations. By removing any new Forex obligations into our supply chain, we will have a sustainable change within the business to be able to reduce the Forex obligations that we do have in our business, start reducing some of these finance charges that a lot of our shareholders have rightly pointed out has been our biggest headwind within our business. So most importantly, I want to highlight what I said in summary. If we think about our business in two ways, the commercial operations of this business are growing and successful, and when we look at the demand dynamics of the industry looking forward, they are compelling, and they remain compelling. Now, when we look at what's driving the loss, it is tied to our capital structure, for which we have made sustainable changes to be able to address it, and it is our biggest priority for returning the company to profitability. Thank you so much. It's a pleasure to be here, and I respect all of you for coming here. Thank you all.
Thank you very much, David. Having answered your questions and responded to the comments, we now commence the moving of the resolutions. May I request that a shareholder please move the following motion: that the report of the directors, auditors, board appraisers, and audit committee, together with the audited accounts for the financial year ended December 31, 2022, now submitted to this meeting, be and are hereby received. Can I have somebody move the motion? The lady at the back, the lady in the second row.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Okele Yadenike Elizabeth. I move the motion.
Thank you. Will another member please second the motion?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman, for giving me the opportunity. My name is Jibuno Godfrey Uche. I so second that motion.
Thank you. I now put the motion to the meeting. Will those in favor of the motion please signify by using your voting devices, your cards? Those in favor of the motion, please raise your hands. Oh, hold on, please. Hold on, please. Hold on, please. The registrars want to make a statement. Hold on, please.
Good morning once again. Good morning once again, Mr. Chairman, directors. Dear shareholders, can we please be seated so we can listen to the voting instruction?
Please be seated. Please be seated.
Dear shareholders, can we still...
And keep quiet, please.
Can we be still?
Welcome. This video.
Again, we welcome you to this meeting. Good morning once again. Thank you, dear esteemed shareholders. I welcome you once again to this meeting. I will be discussing with us the voting process. In the next few minutes, we will commence voting, but before this starts, I will be playing a short video on the electronic voting process. And I seek your utmost attention to watch this video. Team, please start.
This video is on how to use the Welcome. This video is on how to use the electronic voting pad device. Please note voting pad usage instructions. Please note that the device is only required during the voting session of this meeting. How to use the voting device. Press the Sign In button to activate the voting device. When the status indicator flashes red, the device is ready for use. Press the Yes button to vote in favor of a resolution. Or press the No button to vote against a resolution. Only press the ABS button if you do not wish to vote on a resolution. Please press only one of the buttons to cast your vote. You have only 1 minute to vote for each resolution. However, if you press the Yes or No button more than once, the last button pressed before the end of the voting period will be registered as your vote. Please return the e-voting devices to the ushers after the voting session has been concluded. An alarm will be triggered at the exit points if you still have the voting device with you when you leave the meeting hall. Kindly check your pocket and bag to ensure that the device is returned.
After every voting exercise, there will be a short time before the display of results to assist in the collation of the units of the proxies earlier announced, as well as the units of members present. After the resolutions are read by the chairman, the voting timing will be just for 20 seconds, and it shall commence after the display. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you very much. The first resolution to adopt the report of the directors was read already. A motion was taken and seconded. So proceed.
The voting starts now.
Distinguished shareholders, in exercise of the powers conferred on them by Article 51 of the Articles of Association, the board appointed Messrs. David Tomlinson and Carlos Coutinho as Finance Director and Managing Director, respectively, effective January 1, 2023. Mr. Sherian Kurian was appointed as Director effective March 31, 2023. Their profiles are contained in the annual report. We will now take their elections one after the other. Election of Mr. David Tomlinson as Director. Can a member please move the motion that, wait a minute, that made Mr. David Tomlinson's appointment as the Finance Director of the company effective January 1, 2023 be hereby approved. Can somebody move the motion? Let's go to the far end there, the lady in yellow over there.
Thank you, Thank you, Mr. Chairman, for giving me this opportunity. My name is Williams Grace Nwakego. I second the motion.
Thank you. Somebody second the motion, please. The man standing there.
Thank you, Chairman. The name is Lawal Wahab Olatuji. I rise to second that motion.
Thank you very much. I now put the motion to the meeting. Will those in favor of the motion please signify? The registrar will take charge at this point, please.
Dear shareholder, the voting starts now for resolution 2I. Please press your device. Thank you. Ten seconds gone. Voting process is now over. Can we have the result, team? For resolution 2I, we have a total of 23,715,718,859 units voting in favor of this resolution. We also have we have 3 people that voted against, but that represents 0.000% unit. Therefore, the 100% vote is in favor of this resolution. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you very much. I declare that the motion has been carried. Thank you. Atogomosho. Thank you. Secondly, can a member please move the motion that Mr. Carlos Coutinho's appointment as Managing Director of the company, effective January 1, 2023, be hereby approved. In front here.
Yes, Mr. Chairman, I move the motion. Thank you. My name is A.K. Chibuzo Emmanuel. Thank you.
Thank you. Will somebody else second the motion? There's a lady here.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I, Mrs. Odusanya, I second the motion.
Thank you very much. We'll now put the motion to the meeting. Those in favor and those against, can the registrar take over at this point, please?
Dear shareholder, the voting starts now for Mr. Carlos Coutinho as a director.
The voting is in progress.
10 seconds more. 5 seconds more. Voting process is now over. For resolution 2I, we have our results for 23,715,717,800 units voting in favor of this resolution, while 0.00% unit voted against. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you very much. I declare that the motion has been carried. Thank you. Finally, can a member please move the motion that Mr. Cherian Kurien's appointment as the non-executive director of the company, effective 31st March 2023, be hereby approved. Can somebody move the motion, please? The gentleman in white there.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I move the motion. My name is Abayomi Oladipo Olaofe.
Get the woman there to second, please. Oh, yeah, second the motion now.
Thank you, my Igwe. I rise to second the motion. My name is Mrs. E.O. Obideyi.
Thank you very much. I'll call on the registrar to take over.
Dear esteemed shareholders, the voting process starts now.
The voting process starts now.
Please press your device for your preferred resolution. Ten seconds left. 5 seconds left. The voting process is now over. The results for resolution 22 to elect Mr. Chirian Kurian as a director gives a total of 23,715,687,761 in favor of this resolution, while we have 0.00% that voted against. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you very much. I declare the motion carried. The next item on the agenda is the re-election of retiring directors. Distinguished shareholders, the retiring directors are Messrs. Michael Ajukwu, Bruno Zambrano, Andrew Whitting, and Ms. Choyin Odulate. Being eligible, they are offering themselves for re-election. Re-election of Mr. Michael Ajukwu as director. Can a member please move the motion that Mr. Michael Ajukwu, who dear shareholders, are we happy to take a single resolution or do we take them individually?
Dear Chairman,
those
we
registrar.
Yes, so we have proxies who have voted according to the units. I will plead with the shareholders that we should read according to how the proxies already voted. So please, shareholders, can we take it one after the other because we have some against in the proxies received. Thank you.
Those who are in favor say yes. Those who are opposed say no. It's balanced. Nona, microphone.
Chairman, I want to appeal. Hello. Hello. I want to appeal that we respect the opinion of other shareholders. Because from what the registrar has just said, some persons have voted already. So for us to come here and say their votes don't matter, then there's a problem. So what we are going to do is to continue the way we've been doing, but we can fast forward the process. So I'll be suggesting in fast forwarding the process that the chairman should move the motion and let somebody else second, so we save some time as well. But we cannot ignore the votes of the other persons.
Okay. Point taken. Point taken. Now, the motion is, by the way, I'm a shareholder also. Okay. So I then move that Mr. Michael Ajukwu, who having retired by rotation, being eligible and having offered himself for re-election, be duly elected, duly re-elected. Can somebody second the motion? The gentleman there, yes, right, yeah, there.
Thank you. Igwe.
No, you. Hold the microphone, go ahead.
Thank you very much, Igwe. My name is Ibekwe Roberts Adenoba. I stand to second that motion. Igwe.
Thank you very much. Over to the registrar.
Dear shareholders, the voting process starts now. Kindly press your preferred number for your decision. 15 seconds more. 5 seconds more. The voting process is now over. Can we have the display of the results for resolution 3I, which is re-election of Mr. Michael Ajuku. For this resolution, Mr. Chairman, we received 23,696,231,832 in favor of this resolution. We also have 19,468,612 units voting against. The total in favor is 99.92%, while the percentage against is 0.08%. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you very much. Ladies and gentlemen, I declare that the motion has been carried. Thank you. Secondly, I move that Mr. Bruno Zambrano, who having retired by rotation, being eligible and having offered himself for re-election, be duly re-elected. Can somebody second the motion, please? There's a gentleman standing here now. No, this gentleman there.
Thank you, His Royal Majesty. My name Prince Awosanya. I so second.
Thank you very much.
All the way from Remo Central Constituency.
Thank you, thank you. Registrar, please.
Dear shareholder, the voting starts now for resolution 3.2, which is Mr. Bruno Zambrano's re-election. Thank you. 15 seconds more.
Voting in progress.
5 seconds more. The voting process is now over. The result for resolution 3.2 for Mr. Bruno's re-election is a total of 23,696,233,580 in favor, which represents 99.92%. We also have 19,468,632 voting against, representing 0.08%. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you very much. I declare that the motion has been carried. Also, I move that Ms. Toyin Odulate, who having retired by rotation, being eligible and having offered herself for re-election, be duly re-elected. Can somebody second the motion, please? The one with the brown dress.
My chairman, thank you for giving me the opportunity. My names are Olowolafe Kehinde. I hereby second the motion.
Thank you. Can the registrar take over, please? Can we take the vote first? Go ahead.
Mr. Chairman, we have been voting since, even those assembly directors who are not here, their pictures should have been flashed that are joining this meeting. And the directors that are here, if they are voting them, they need to stand up, we recognize them, take a bow. They cannot sit in their glue on their chair without us recognizing them. And we're voting. Who are we voting?
Your point is well taken. Can I apologize on the lack of presentation of the images of the absent directors? I did that at the beginning. It was a technical failure on our part, and we can't resolve it now. But the point about your mate is Toyin. Please stand up. Okay, please go ahead. Can she sit down now? After the voting, she's a young lady. She can stand. So you stand. Okay, don't worry. Go ahead.
Dear shareholder, the voting process starts now. Please press your decision for the re-election of Ms. Olutoyin Odulate. Voting starts now. Thank you. 15 seconds more. 5 seconds more. and the voting process is over. The result for the re-election of Ms. Olutoyin Odulate is a total of 23,715,669,961 units, and all voted in favor. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you very much. You can see that standing up makes a difference. I declare the motion carried unanimously. Also, ladies and gentlemen, I move that Mr. Andrew Whiting, who having retired by rotation and being eligible and having offered himself for re-election, be duly re-elected. Can somebody rise and second that motion? Let me go to this side first.
I so do. Oyiwola Musumala is my name.
Somebody just speaking from there.
I so do. Oyiwola Musumala is my name.
Okay, thank you very much. Registrar, please.
Dear shareholder, the voting process starts now for re-election of Mr. Andrew Whiting. The voting is ongoing. 15 seconds more, shareholders. Five seconds more. The voting process is now over. The results, dear shareholder, thank you, dear shareholder. The result, thank you, shareholder. The result for Mr. Andrew is a total of 23,715,699,005 units. This represents 100% in favor of this unit. 50 units voted against, but that is 0.000%. Thank you.
Thank you very much. I declare that the motion has been carried. Thank you. Resolution number 4. Distinguished shareholders, the next item on the agenda is to authorize the directors to fix the remuneration of the external directors. Measures PricewaterhouseCoopers, PwC, having indicated their willingness, will continue as external auditors of the company without any resolution being passed. However, the directors must be authorized by members of the annual general meeting to fix their resolution. Therefore, I move that the resolution and the expenses of the company's external directors, Messrs. PricewaterhouseCoopers, PwC, be fixed by the directors in respect of the period ending at the end of the next annual general meeting pursuant to Section 408, subsection 1B of the Companies and Allied Matters Act 2020. Can a member please rise and second the motion? Okay, let's him second the motion.
Thank you, Chairman. The name is Prince Dr. Anthony Omojola. I move the motion. Thank you.
Thank you. Registrar?
Dear shareholders, the voting process starts now for Resolution 4.
Voting starts for Resolution 4.
Voting process starts now, dear shareholder. Please press according to your preference. Your last button will be recorded. Thank you, Chairman. Dear shareholders, the voting process is over now. We will be reading the results for Resolution 4, which is to authorize the directors to fix the remuneration of the external auditors. The total units in favor of this resolution is 23,715,679,350 units. And this represents 100% of the vote received. 90 units voted against, but that is 0.00% voting against this unit. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you very much. I declare that the motion has been carried. Resolution number 5, election.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Once again, my name is Mrs. Bisi Bakari. I'm of the opinion, if my colleagues agree with me, that we go to special resolution first before coming back to the election of audit committee. So I therefore move the motion to move it to special, to last resolution. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Are we agreed on that? Are we agreed on that? No, there's no provision for a motion on that. I just want to get the opinion of the shareholders, generally speaking. Those in support say yes. Those against say no. Okay, I think there's majority say we should move it. Okay, by the agreement of the shareholders, we will now go to resolution number 6 before we come back to resolution number 5. Okay. Yes. Item number 6, and then number 7. Okay. Ladies and gentlemen, Section 257 of the Companies and Allied Matters Act, CAMA 2020, provides that the compensation of the managers, the compensation for the managers of the business must be disclosed to members of the general meeting. The remuneration for the managers of the business for the 2022 financial year is as disclosed on notes 32 and 33 of the audited financial statements as contained in the annual report. No resolution is required to be taken on this item. Thank you very much. Resolution number 7.1, fixing of the remuneration of the directors. The next item on the agenda is to fix the remuneration of the directors of the company. The combined sum of 76 billion and 10,000 is being proposed as remuneration for the directors of the company for the year 2023 financial year. This sum is a combination of their sitting allowances, annual fees, and reimbursables for the 5 non-executive directors of the company. Considering that I am a beneficiary of this resolution, I will now call on the Managing Director to oversee the consideration of this resolution. Carlos?
Thank you, Chairman. So please, can a member please move the motion that the combined remuneration for the non-executive directors be fixed at the sum not exceeding 76 million naira and 10,000 for the 2023 financial year? the lady in the front, please.
I so do. My name is Esther Funke Augustine. I so second year.
Thank you very much. Will another member please second the motion? Okay, the gentleman here on the second row, second row.
Thank you, my MD. My name is Honorable Babatunde Elekede. I like to second the motion.
Thank you. Thank you very much. I now put the motion to the meeting. Will those in favor of the motion please signify by using your voting devices? Will those against the motion please signify by using your voter device?
Dear shareholder, the voting process starts now for resolution 7.1. Please press according to your preference. 10 seconds more. The voting process is now over. The result for Special Business Resolution 7.1 to fix the remuneration of the directors is a total of 23,715,656,499 units in favor of this resolution. 20 units voted against, but that represents 0.00%. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you very much. I declare that the motion has been carried.
Thank you, Carlos. Distinguished shareholders, pursuant to the rules governing transactions with related parties or interested persons by the Nigerian Exchange Limited, it is proposed that an ordinary resolution be passed, which will grant your company the authority to enter recurrent related parties transaction. In view of this, can a member move the motion that in compliance with the rules of the Nigerian Exchange Limited, NGX, governing transactions with related parties or interested persons, the board and management are hereby granted a general mandate to procure goods, services, financing, and enter such incidental or recurrent transactions necessary for the day-to-day operations or on normal commercial terms with a related party or interested person. This mandate shall commence on the date on which this resolution is passed and shall continue to operate until the date on which the next annual general meeting of the company is held. Can somebody move the motion, please? Somebody at that, the man in the suit in front.
Thank you, my chairman, for giving the opportunity. My names are Ayola Gilbert Olufemi. I second that motion.
Thank you very much. Can somebody second the motion? Okay, there's a gentleman standing up. No, let's somebody over here. Somebody over here.
Thank you, my chairman. I, Yakina Adisa, I rise to second the motion.
Thank you very much. Registrar, please.
Dear shareholders, the voting process for resolution 7.2 starts now. Please press according to your preference. Thank you. 15 seconds more. 10 seconds more. 5 seconds more. The voting process is now over. The result for Special Business Resolution 7.2 will be displayed shortly. A total of 249 million units, 123,194 voted in favor, and that represents 0.75%, while we have
In favor? In favor?
in favor, yes, is 0.75%, while we have a total of 32 billion 875,935 voting against this resolution.
Can you go through it again?
Dear team, can we take this voting process again?
Please.
Dear shareholder, the voting for special business 7.2 will be taken again. Can we start again, team? The voting process starts now for special business resolution 7.2. The voting process is now over. Can we have the display of the results? For resolution 7.2, please let us take it for the last time. Can we go again? Dear shareholder, I beg, I apologize. Please, can we take this voting process again? Voting process is now over. The major owners are not to vote for this resolution. That's why we have that percentage for. So we will just ignore those against. Yes, that the major holders will not vote. That's why we have less than the 20-something billion we have been reading. So I'll read out just those in favor of it. Yes, sir. Yes, I started, yes. Dear shareholder, for this special resolution, we have 249,161,560 voting in favor, which represents the total percentage, excluding the major shareholders who are not to vote for this resolution. So we can say this resolution is 100% taken. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you very much. I declare the motion carried. So we now come back to resolution number 5. And please, I'll call on all of us to exercise the highest level of discipline and civility. It's all in the hands of the shareholders. Ladies and gentlemen, election of the Audit Committee. Section 404 of the Companies and Allied Matters Act provides for the setting up of an audit committee consisting of 2 directors and representatives of the shareholders, subject to a maximum of 5 members, who shall examine the auditor's report and make recommendations to the annual general meeting. The Board of Directors has nominated 2 directors, Mr. Olubenga Awomolo and Mr. Michael Ajuku, as members of the committee. As of the close of business on 31st May 2023, 5 valid nominations were received for election into the Audit Committee. The names of the nominees and those that nominated them have been verified with our registrars. We will now go through the process of electing the Statutory Audit Committee members for the 2023 financial year. As I call on the names of the nominees, please stand up and identify yourself. Your shareholder nominees for the Statutory Audit Committee are 1. Mr. Oladepo Adeshino, nominated by Mr. Olaniro Ishmael Jimokuku. Number 2, Ms. Oluwatoyin Iyola, nominated by Abubakar Aliyu Akano. Three, Mr. Moses Ijayekunle, nominated by Atakenu Abimbola Abosede. 4, Mr. Taiwo Afinju, nominated by Okoli Frank Rebecca. Number five, Mr. Aduniyi Temitokpe Kamoru, nominated by Rahim Adebanjo Adewale. Mr. Kamoru. Mr. Kamoru, please. Mr. Kamoru, is he here?
CV to you, and we call you, and we have spoken with the secretary. The secretary was telling me something. In fact, he has the track. What is CV? I was on the audit. I was full of there last year. Look at the audited account. My name is there. And you want to manipulate the process. You cannot manipulate it. You are manipulating it. You are manipulating it. You stop it on the table. You don't follow. We won't take it. Look at it. You stop it. We will not take it. Did you attach it? We attach it. Why did you ask for? Madam, it can never work. Date of May. Which CV? CV, I sent it to you, I sent it to the secretary.
Shareholders, please, let's be calm. Okay. Shareholders, can you go back to your seat? We will address it. Shareholders, please we need to go back to our seats. Please go and sit. Go and sit.
This election by the raising of your voting pads and also your hand. So apologies, we will not be using the voting device for this. It's all because the rule says one vote represents one person, and all we have been reading has been units. So once I call on the name of your preferred person, please raise your voting pad up and your hand, and we will count you. Voting pad and voting paper. No problem. Please raise up your hand. Thank you. The first election is for Mr. Oladepo Adeshino. Can I? Please sit down. Please sit down so we can count you. Shareholders, please sit down so we can count you. Dear shareholders, please be seated so we can count you. We have different people counting each row. Please raise up your hand, but sit down. Thank you, shareholders.
Please sit down to be counted. Just raise your hands. Just raise your
Please
hands.
sit down to be counted. Please sit down to be counted. Thank you. Thank you, shareholders. The second election will be for Ms. Oluwatoyi Ijiola. Everybody voting in favor of this audit committee member should please raise up their hand, but be seated so we can count you. Thank you. Thank you, shareholders. The next election will be for Mr. Moses Ijayekunle. Every shareholder voting in favor should please be seated but raise up their hands. Thank you. The next person will be Mr. Taiwo Afinju. Please be seated. 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 Please be seated so we can count you. Please be seated. Please be seated. Sit down, shareholders. Please be seated so we can count you. Please be seated so we can complete the counting. Please be seated so we can count you. We are waiting for votes for the last row. Thank you, shareholders, for Mr. Taiwo Afiju. Can we be seated so we can count the last row? Thank you, shareholders. We will be going to the last shareholder on this list. Can we please be quiet? Can we please be quiet? Shareholders, can we be quiet? Thank you. The last election will be for Mr. Oduni Temitokwe, but I need us all to be quiet and calm on our seats. Thank you, shareholders. We are almost nearing the end of this meeting. Please let us be calm and quiet. Thank you. For Mr. Odunuyi Temitokwe Kamoru, shareholders who want to vote in favor of Mr. Odunuyi Temitokwe Kamoru can please raise up their hands. Thank you, shareholders. Please give us some minutes while we sum up the votes. Thank you, shareholders. Number one has this, number two, number three.
Which one?
Number 5 is 2. Number 4 is 151. Number 3 is 99. Number 2 is 92.
One is 110.
Yes, 110. 92. 3, 99. 4. Yes.
Igwe.
5 is 6.
The registrar should read it. There is not you. The registrar should announce. Or they are the ones.
I should read it and then. Thank you, shareholders. After clarification and discussion with the team that counted, and the result has been vetted, I will now declare the results. For Mr. Oladepo Adeshino, the total vote was 110, that's 110 voted in favor for Mr. Oladepo. For Ms. Oluwatoyin Iyiola, we had 92 votes for her. For Mr. Moses Ijayekunle, we received 99 votes for Mr. Moses. For Mr. Taiwo Afinju, we received 151 votes for him. And for Mr. Oduniyi, we had 2 votes for him. Thank you, Chairman. Thank you, shareholders. Dear shareholders, please do not forget to drop your device pad as you are congratulating your people. Please sit down while we collect our
Ladies
voting
and
pad.
gentlemen, having voted for your 3 nominees to the Statutory Audit Committee, I will now propose the following motion that pursuant to Section 404, subsection 3 of CAMA 2020, an audit committee of the company be and is hereby appointed effective today, June 21, 2023, until the conclusion of the next annual general meeting. The following are to constitute the membership of the committee: Mr. Michael Ajukwu, Mr. Olubenga Awomolo, Mr. Oladapo Adeshino, Mr. Moses Ijayekunle, and Mr. Taiwo Afinju. Can somebody second that motion, please? Listen. Let him.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. My name is Prince Engineer Kolewu. I second the motion.
Thank you very much. Is anybody against the motion? No. I now put the motion to the meeting. With those in favor, please signify by using their voting devices.
Raise up your hand, please. Raising up your hand. Those in favor, please raise up your hand of this motion. Dear shareholders.
Those in favor, raise your hands. Those in favor, raise your hands. Those in favor, raise your hands. Okay, thank you. Anybody against the motion? Thank you very much. I declare the motion carried unanimously. Distinguished shareholders, as there is no other business for which due statutory notice was given, I thank you all for attending and taking part in the affairs of our company, and I hereby declare the 46th Annual General Meeting of the company closed. Can we have the national anthem, please? National anthem.
shareholders, please be reminded that you can visit the registrar's website to assess the status of your dividend. Please visit www.apel.com.ng and go to the e-products for you to do your dividend search and submit your dividend form. Thank you. Please do not forget to return the voting device. Your voting device, please. Can you please submit to me? Can we submit our voting device, please? Please do not take it home. Remember, we have your address. Kindly submit your voting pass. Please submit your voting pass. It is not useful for you after today. It is not a TV, neither a remote. Shareholders, please help me to return it. Shareholders, please submit your voting pass so we can use for another meeting. Please submit your voting pass. Please submit your voting pass, shareholders. Please return your voting pass. Please check your bags and return the voting pass. Please return your voting pass. Please return your voting pass, shareholders. Please return your voting pass, shareholders. Please return your voting pass. Yes, visit our website. Please return your voting pass. Please return your voting pass.
Why you say I did nothing for you when if I do anything you want me to do? Maybe another time, maybe another life. You will be my wife and we'll get it right.
Please return your voting pass.
Now everybody go to breakfast. Have to say bye bye yo, bye bye yo to the love of my
Please return your voting pass.
Don't cry yo, I need big boy and shadow. I need big boy and shadow.
Please return your voting pass. Please return your voting pass, shareholders. Please return your voting pass. Daniel. Godwin.
Go ahead, it's your time, baby. It's your time, baby. Get my baby. That's the difference when you're my baby. That's how it is when you. Nobody make me stop the world. Feel my thug passion. Be what you ask for. So tell me if you want action. Until the lights back on. I got the one we could last long. And I never knew my job. Feel like what I waited for night long. I pull up in my fashion. Every night flashing anyway. We can go ahead and just head out. Until up in my villa to get out the whole night. Just get in the drop top, take the head out and cruise with your head outside. Go ahead, it's your time, baby. It's your time, baby. Get my baby. That's the difference when you're my baby. That's how it is when you.